Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Horror Trans. I am Stephanie Bree. I am a transgender woman. I talk about all things horror. It's late at night, as is per my MO. And today we're talking about, speaking of night, it is Night of the Living Dead, the original 1968 classic. And yes, I said classic. So this is the first horror. This is the first horror zombie movie of the modern zombie movie ilk. So this is the movie that literally started the modern zombie craze. We would not have we wouldn't have The Walking Dead, we wouldn't have Day of the Dead, we wouldn't have 28 Days Later, we wouldn't have fucking nothing if this movie hadn't come out. This is George A. Romero. I believe it's his first movie, but don't quote me on that. But it is his first zombie movie in his trilogy. Well, it was a trilogy once upon a time, but you know how Hollywood is. But the George A. Romero trilogy works as a trilogy, so watch it as a trilogy, and then you can do what you want with the Hollywood shit. But we'll go there when we go there. So let's talk about it. Night of the Living Dead is in black and white, but it also exists in color. So if you can't watch a black and white movie, there is a colorized version of it. But there's also a remake of it that was made in the 90s that I'll talk about later because this is the OG. So it starts out in a cemetery, which is a good place to start a horror movie. Thank you very much. And you got a brother and sister who are in the cemetery and they get attacked by ghouls. They're called ghouls in this movie. And the brother gets overtaken by the ghouls, and the sister freaks out and runs through the woods into a house a farmhouse out in the woods, out in the wilderness, where she meets other people who are figuring out that the dead are rising from their graves and shit is happening. And you have three dynamics in this movie. You have the African American man, who is the lead of the movie, who literally takes charge, who is trying to survive the night as best as possible. He's trying to board up the windows and doors. He's trying to shoot the ghouls. He's trying to keep everybody alive. You have the sister, who is just literally in shock the whole fucking movie, so she just sits there catatonic, not doing a goddamn thing. And then you have this You have this family, I should say, who are hiding in the basement, who are like, we'll be safe in the basement. And the African American gentleman is like, motherfucker, you're not safe in the basement. They're going to get you. So there is a subplot where you hear news reports, you see TV newscasts where they are talking about the ghouls and what's happening around the world. So, like, civilization hasn't fallen yet. It's just falling into disrepair. But as of right now, it's contained to this area, this city and surrounding areas. So it hasn't gone worldwide yet. So it's still, like, just starting. They posit a couple of theories in this movie about what reanimated the dead. So, you'll just have to watch the movie for yourself to get those theories, because I'm not recanting them here. But basically, they end up getting overtaken by the zombies, so they go out into the wilderness to escape. They get to the truck, they try to fill it up with gas, and they're going to try to get to a better place where they have a better chance of survival. And they die along the way. Not all of them, but the ones who get outside die. And so the lead actor, the African American gentleman, and the catatonic female, the sister, basically figure out they're fucked. And so they just finish boarding up the house. The family situation gets complicated because the wife is like, I'm not hiding in the basement. And then the child turns, because the child died, and then reanimates and turns on the family. Which puts them in the predicament. What do they do with their zombie child who's been reanimated? And then you get to the ending of this movie, which I am going to spoil because I want to talk about it. You get to the end of the movie and you have a bunch of hillbillies, rednecks with guns, and police officers who are walking around cleaning up. So you're led to believe it's over. It's Night of the Living Dead. It's not zombie apocalypse. You know, it's okay. We've contained the incident. They're cleaning up house. They're walking along and they just see a person in the window, the African American gentleman, and they fucking shoot him. They just shoot him dead. He's not a ghoul. He's not a zombie. He's not eating any flesh or writhing or doing any zombie anything. They see a black man and they shoot him. So I want to talk about the ending because this movie's fucked up. This is one of those movies that does not have a happy ending. Your heroes of the movie, your main cast, don't survive. There is no final girl. There is no we win. There is no survivors. You get to the end of the movie and they're all fucking dead. Everybody you were watching this movie with, you were spending the night with, you were getting to know, you were rooting for, fucking dies. You're led to believe that this is it. That good prevailed. The heroes saved the day. They put down the Walking Dead, and then, you know, life goes back to normal on Monday. We don't find out until later in the sequels that that's not the fucking case. But at the end of this movie, you're left with mixed feelings. You're left with that gut-wrenching feeling of like, holy shit, everybody fucking died. But also a sliver of hope, like, well, at least they stopped the zombie apocalypse. Right? Question mark? Obviously, this is a fucking buy. I have this movie on multiple DVDs. This movie is included on every fucking zombie collection you will ever buy. This movie is on... I've got like 4 different DVDs with this movie on it. It's one of those movies that you couldn't not buy it if you tried. If you buy collections of horror movies, if you buy those 4-packs or those 20-packs or anything like that, you're going to get this movie more than once. But you should go out of your way to get it. There's also individual releases. There's some complicated bullshit about the copyright and everything like that. I'm not going to fucking get into it. This isn't a history channel. You can go Google it. You can find other channels that talk about that. So, this is absolutely a buy. It's a damn fucking good movie. Not super gory, because it's 1968, but it's gory enough for the time. It satisfies. You know, it is just gory enough that you're like, you know what? I'll buy it. I'll take it. This was the beginning of the modern era of horror. We're going to get into the 70s. This is like the end of the 60s. We're going to get into the 70s, and we're going to finally start getting into the golden age of horror, when horror like becomes its own legit genre versus previously where it was just a subgenre of suspense or thriller or mystery or whatever. So this is when horror becomes horror. And this is the beginning of that. So this is a damn fucking good movie. You absolutely have to have this movie in your collection.